want. Good morning, everyone. It is November 4th, and you are at Coffee Calibrations with me. I'm Coach Kristina Swanson, and I hope you have your favorite morning, afternoon, or evening beverage, depending on where you're zooming in from. Since I have an international audience, I know some of my people are zooming in the evening, so take a sip of your beverage, toast each other. Welcome to this session where you have an opportunity to really set your week off right and start your day, your week, your evening, whatever, on a high vibration. And so I'm going to do exactly what I just told you to do and take a sip of my coffee. Take a second sip. It's kind of hot, but nothing like caffeine in the morning. Okay. So with a bunch of my friends, and we had food and lots of laughter, and I gave bonus chips for costumes and for jokes, and it was really fun all the way around, and fellowship was really great. So I had an awesome Halloween. Coming up though is Thanksgiving, and now that we're in November, I've decided I'm going to kind of dedicate this month to a very important topic for personal transformation, and that is gratitude. You see, when we're on a vibration, you can either be feeling love or you can be feeling fear. Love being a higher vibration and fear being a very low and debilitating vibration, right? So what I want you to understand is that if you can keep yourself at a higher vibration, more towards the vibration of love, then you can achieve more in your life and just feel better every moment of every day, right? Now, how do you stay in a vibration of love or high vibration? It's through gratitude. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about gratitude. Now, we often in our sessions do gratitude practice anyway. And so we're still going to go ahead and do that today. I'm going to have everybody repeat something that they're grateful for and something that they are proud of. And the reason we do this is because when we are in a position where we're feeling grateful or gratitude all of the time, then we have a much easier time of being in a creative and expansive mindset, right? Now, the reason that we not only express a grateful for, but also a proud of, is because the proud of the signal that we have taken an action. Okay. And it's, what Mary says, my dear mentor, Mary Morrissey, inspiration without action is simply entertainment. And I know most of us entertain ourselves all day, every day. And so, being proud of something that you've taken action for helps reinforce the fact that you've taken an action and helps move you forward. Okay. Excellent. So what I'm going to do right now is put us into an energetic state. And what that does is it really helps bring us to the current moment, helps ground us, and helps us really focus on the here and now rather than all the monkey mind that's going on in the rest of your life. Okay. So what I invite you to do is close your eyes with me. And I want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth as if you're breathing through a straw. And I want you to do a cycle of about 3 or 4 of these. You can stop When you actually feel your body relax, if you still feel some tightness, some constriction in you, maybe a little bit of resistance, continue to breathe in this way. Relax them. I invite you to set aside your cell phone for now. Put away anything else that might be a distraction as you focus in today on what it is that's most important to you this week. And this isn't something exterior, this is something internal, right? This is something that is important for you to do or accomplish, or who you want to be in this week. Okay. And another way to look at this is one of your big rocks, right? I sometimes talk about the analogy of if you take a big glass jar and you fill it with big rocks, is it full? No. When you pour in some pebbles around it and the pebbles settle in around the rocks, is it full? No. If you take sand and pour the sand in and the sand settles in around those pebbles, is it full? No. When you take water and and pour that water in and it fills in all of the spaces around the sand, it's finally full, right? Now, if you were to take the water and put it in first, or the sand, and then try and add the other things later, it wouldn't happen, right? You would never be able to get the big rocks in. The big rocks represent the important things in your life that you need to be doing in order to move your needle forward toward your big goals or your dreams, right? The sand and the water representing the things that are superfluous, watching television, playing games on your phone. You have to decide what that is, but there are a lot of things I've cut out of my life. I don't really pay attention to sports because I just don't have time. I actually am on a somewhat news diet. I have very specific news sources that I attend to. I want to make sure I'm ingesting high quality information. I'm not scrolling through Facebook reading everybody's BS about politics. So what are your big rocks? And what is one of the biggest rocks you need to accomplish this week? And I want you to think about that for a moment. And I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and blow that out through your mouth as you're thinking about this big rock. Is it giving you any anxiety? Do you feel any anxiousness about it? If not, maybe it's not a big enough rock. Maybe it's just a big goal you have to achieve, a task, for instance. But what's something that you could do to move yourself forward in a bigger way this week, right? For me, I know I've been intending to do some international travel, and I haven't taken a really important step. And that is, I need to renew my passport. I've been putting it off because it is very old and it has my divorced name on it. I'm going to have to go through some steps in order to achieve that. I also, this is kind of silly, didn't want to lose my old passport. I didn't want to have to surrender it to the passport office because there are some amazing stamps in there from the places that I've traveled. Places in the South Pacific, Japan, places where I just, that is evidence of that experience for me, right? I've actually been told now they'll send it back to me, so that's helpful. But I just, it's a silly thing for me not to be doing, but I've had a couple of opportunities to travel come up and I couldn't go because I didn't have my passport. So why don't I spend 5 minutes today, this afternoon, filling out the form online and figuring out what do I need to get document wise in order to renew my passport, right? That could actually be an important piece of actually moving me into the international travel that I really want to do. Okay. So you have that piece of big rock for this week in your mind. What I want you to do now is say to yourself, and if you are alone, great. I would love to have you say it out loud and say to yourself, I am so happy and grateful now that I am applying for my passport, whatever it is, right? I am so happy and grateful now that I am accomplishing X. Okay. Now, final step is we're going to ground that by putting it on your schedule. So open your eyes and go ahead and grab that cell phone or your calendar if you have it handy. And I want you to commit to when you are going to accomplish that thing. Now, if it's a 5-minute power move, maybe you can do it right after our call. If it takes a little bit longer, maybe you need to actually put it on your calendar. But I want it on your calendar between now and Friday. And the sooner you do it, the more likely it is that you will. Okay. So schedule that thing. Okay. So that is going to be the big step that you need to take this week to maximize your productivity. Awesome. Now, let me ask you another question. How does it feel knowing that you're going to accomplish that big item in your life? Right? For me, it feels expansive to think that, hey, I can eliminate a barrier to doing something that I would really love. And while up until now, it hasn't really been a big rock, it's probably been one of the smaller pieces, a pebble or even sand, because I saw that travel as being way out there in the future. Now I'm realizing passports take time. This whole process energetically takes time. An oak tree, you plant the seed, the acorn. You don't have a tree tomorrow, it has to grow. And so I'm planting the seed of this international travel by preparing myself. Right? Excellent. Okay, so I've got that in your calendar. Okay. Yay. Congratulate yourself. I want you to reach around. I want you to put your hand up. I want you to bend it, and I want you to pat yourself on the back. Okay? Because you've done it. You've taken the first step to moving forward. Okay? And hopefully you do feel vibrant and alive and energetic as a result of that. Now, if you're feeling some constriction, maybe you need to examine why you're feeling constricted and determine if it's the right action to take, or if perhaps you have some fears that you need to overcome in order to do that thing. And that's good, because when the fear or the paradigms arise, that means you're getting ready to change. And when that happens, you need to let yourself be afraid, but don't let fear have you. You can have fear, but don't let fear have you. Okay. Do it afraid. Okay. Awesome. So as I said, I want to talk a little bit about gratitude this morning, and I'll be doing it for this whole month of Thanksgiving. And I, as I was taking a shower this morning, was listening to the audiobook of one of my favorite books, and that is the Think and Grow Rich. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. He has an entire chapter on gratitude. And so I thought I would just share a couple of excerpts out of this with you and then talk about them just briefly, because the other thing that is going on right now, at least in the United States, is tomorrow is election day, right? And there's a passage in here that really speaks to me. It always has, but this morning it really jumped out at me in particular. And so I'd love to share all of this. So the first thing I want to talk about is that the main premise of the Science of Getting Rich is this, and that is that there is a thinking substance from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces things that can be imagined by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thoughts upon formless substance, can cause the things he thinks about to be created. Okay. Same thought premise as so many of my teachings, but I think that, as we start to talk about gratitude, that this will also come into play, right? Thoughts become things. So I'm going to just start by reading the beginning of chapter 7, which is entitled Gratitude. The illustrations given in the last chapter will have conveyed to the reader the fact that the first step in getting rich is to convey the idea of your wants to formless substance. It is true, and you will see that in order to do so, it becomes necessary to relate yourself to the formless intelligence in a harmonious way. To secure this harmonious relation is a matter of such primary and vital importance that I should give some space to its discussion here, and give you instructions which, if you will follow them, will be certain to bring you into perfect unity of mind with God. The whole process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. First, you believe that there is one intelligent substance from which all things proceed. Second, you believe that this substance gives you everything you desire. And third, you relate yourself to it by a feeling of deep and profound gratitude. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other words are kept from poverty by their lack of gratitude. Having received one gift from God, they cut the wires that connect them with Him by failing to make acknowledgement. It is easy to understand that the nearer we live to the source of wealth, the more wealth we shall receive. And it is easy also to understand that the soul is always grateful, lives in closer touch with God than one which never looks to Him in thankful acknowledgement. The more gratefully we fix our minds on the Supreme when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive, and the more rapidly they will come. And the reason simply is that the mental attitude of gratitude draws the mind into closer touch with the source from which blessings come. The good things you already have come to you along the lines of obedience to certain laws. Gratitude will lead your mind out along the ways by which things come, and it will keep you in close harmony with creative thought and prevent you from falling into competitive thought. Gratitude can keep you looking toward the all and prevent you from falling into the error of thinking of the supply as limited. To do that would be fatal to your hopes. There is a law of gratitude, and it is absolutely necessary that you should observe the law if you are to get the results that you seek. The law of gratitude is the natural principle that action and reaction are always equal and in opposite directions. The grateful outreaching of your mind in thankful praise to the Supreme is a liberation or expenditure of force. It cannot fail to reach that to which it is addressed, and the action is the instantaneous move toward you. Draw nigh unto God, and He will draw nigh unto you, is a statement of psychological truth. And if your gratitude is strong and constant, the reaction in formless substance will be strong and continuous. The movement of things you will want will always move toward you. Notice the grateful attitude that Jesus spoke, how He always seems to be saying, "Thank thee, Father, that thou hast hearest me." Let me say that again. Thank thee, Father, that thou hast hearest me. You cannot exercise much power without gratitude, for it is gratitude that keeps you connected with power. But the value of gratitude does not consist solely of getting you more blessings in the future. Without gratitude, you cannot long keep from dissatisfied thought regarding things as they are. The moment you permit your mind to dwell with satisfaction upon things as they are, you begin to lose ground. You begin to fix attention upon the common, the ordinary, the poor, and the squalid and mean, and your mind takes the form of these things. Then you will transmit these forms or mental images to the formless, and the common, the poor, the squalid, and the mean will come to you. To permit your mind to dwell upon the inferior is to become inferior and to surround yourself with inferior things. On the other hand, to fix your attention on the best is to surround yourself with the best and to become the best. The creative power within us makes us into the image of that to which we bring our attention. We are thinking substance, and thinking substance always takes the form of that which it thinks about. The grateful mind is the grateful mind is constantly fixed upon the best. Therefore, it tends to become the best, and it takes the form or character of the best, and it will receive the best. Also, faith is born of gratitude. The grateful mind continually expresses and expects good things, and expectation becomes faith. The reaction of gratitude upon one's own mind produces faith, and every outgoing wave of grateful thanksgiving increases faith. He who has no feeling of gratitude cannot long retain a living faith. And without a living faith, you cannot get rich by the creative method, as we will see in the following chapters. It is necessary, then, to cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Do not waste time thinking or talking about the shortcomings or wrong actions of plutocrats or trust magnates. Their organization of the world has made your opportunity. All you get really comes to you because of them. Do not rage against corrupt politicians. If it were not for politicians, we would fall into anarchy, and your opportunity would be greatly lessened. God has worked a long time and very patiently to bring us up to where we are in industry and government. He is going along with his work. There is not the least doubt that he will do away with plutocrats, trust magnates, captains of industry, and politicians as long as they can be spared. But in the meantime, behold that they are all very good. Remember that they are all helping to arrange the lines of transmission along which your riches will come to you, and be grateful to them all. This will bring you into harmonious relations with the good of everything, and the good in everything will move toward you. I just love that last part. I ended up reading a good part of the chapter to you because I just think it's so juicy and so meaty. And I would love to have you type some of your questions into the chat if you have them, and I'll try and answer them. But, you know, when I read that part about do not rage against politicians, captains of industry and so forth, it really resonates with me because so many people are complaining about what they think is wrong with this world. And yet, those of us in the United States live in the best country in the world. We have more freedom than anyone has ever imagined having in the history of the world. We have more wealth. In fact, the average American is more wealthy than 97% of the royalty who ever lived throughout history. And yet we complain that we don't have enough. So it's time for us to start being grateful. And it's time for us to be grateful that we have the opportunity to vote for who we would love to be in charge of our country. I think that our system may not be perfect, but I have to say, I haven't found a system that would replace it that would be better, that would be upholding the things that are important to me, right? I have gotten to the point when people ask me what my political opinion is to basically say that I stand for the person who upholds what I think is right the most. And what's right to me is Is it the truth? Right? Are they speaking the truth? Are they acting the truth? Are they acting out of knowledge, or are they acting out of individual gain, especially their own gain or the gain of their contributors? Is it fair? Are they saying and doing things that are fair to the people around them? Is it fair to the people they're going to be governing? Are they being fair to all people? Or are they just being fair to certain groups? Okay. Will it create goodwill and better friendships? Right? Are they going to form bridges with other politicians, with corporations, with other countries, other leaders in order to benefit us, or are they going to isolate us? What are they going to do in order to make us more safe? And finally, I ask, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Are they making decisions that truly benefit the entire community, or are they simply benefiting certain groups? Are they only benefiting, for instance, their contributors? And so, you know, in the big scope of things, we will move forward regardless of who's elected president tomorrow. We need to be grateful for the fact that we live in this country. We need to be grateful that we have the opportunity to vote. We need to be grateful for the fact that very little actually changes with that change at the top. Big changes in government take time. They're slow, and it takes a lot of energy in order to shift the entire focus of the nation. And so don't be scared by the media that you might have been reading. Perhaps you've been reading a newsletter, listening to podcasts. Perhaps you have been getting interesting emails from people telling you that the world is about to end because, well, guess what? The world is not going to end, and we are all going to be fine. We need to be grateful that we live in a system with checks and balances where nobody has ultimate power to change everything. We have the power. If you haven't voted yet, please vote. Okay. All right. So let's see. Oh, there's a question in the chat. What I have here is a question about, are there actually any good politicians? Of course there are. Everyone is not totally good or totally bad. We have things about us that might be different from somebody else, but for the most part, you know, the way we should be judging our leaders is, are they responsible? Are they accountable? Are they doing the things that I just said? Are they, you know, doing things that benefit the whole community? Right? And actually, let's see, where's my book? Wallace Waddles at the end of chapter 14, I believe. Quotes a politician. This chapter is called The Impression of Increase. I don't know how you guys study your books, but mine are all marked up, so it's kind of easy for me to find these things. But I'm just going to skip to the end because I've already read plenty to you for today. I'm just going to read the last two paragraphs right here in answer to that question. The mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind, and the competitive mind is not the creative one. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellow man, and indeed, when you fall into the world's struggle for the high places, you begin to be conquered by fate and environment, and your getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. Beware of the competitive mind. No better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the late Golden Rule Jones of Toledo. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. Well, I had to go and look it up because I had no idea who Golden Rule Jones of Toledo was. Um, and I didn't mention it earlier, but The Science of Getting Rich was originally published in 1910. And Golden Rule Jones was the mayor of Chicago at that time. And he was known for being a very virtuous and a very giving and a very supportive, accountable leader. He was held up for many, many years as the best leader that you know you should have. He was basically their idol, their ideal. Yeah. Um, Here's another question. What is a way that I can get myself into gratitude on a daily basis? Well, great question. Thank you, Elise. So here are some suggestions. First of all, I suggest you have a gratitude practice. Now, a gratitude practice means that when you wake up in the morning, time for a cup of coffee here. When you wake up in the morning, before your feet hit the floor, I want you to think of at least 3 things that you're grateful for. Perhaps it's things you're looking forward to in your day, things that just help set you on a high vibration. I'm so happy and grateful I had a great night's sleep. I'm so happy and grateful I have a meeting with my boss today to discuss my raise. I'm so happy and grateful that whatever. Okay. And so think of some things that you're grateful for in the morning, and maybe something you're going to be proud of that you're going to work on for the day. Kind of a mini calibration of what we've done here today. And then at the end of the day, I encourage you to do a little journaling. Now, I don't know if you actually journal, but I suggest that you get a journal and you start doing it if you haven't. And this is a really great way to do it, is to start with just a gratitude journal. And in the evening before you go to sleep, I want you to write down 5 things for which you are grateful. Okay. What happened during your day that made you feel grateful? And I want you to record those. And I want you to do this every night. And every night I want you to find new things to be grateful. Don't just write, I'm grateful for my husband every night. Okay. Now you can write, I'm so happy and grateful that my husband and I did this, or that he did this for me, or that he is this way, something new that you're grateful for about your husband in that process, right? Okay, because that helps you to build your gratitude around him in a longer and bigger way. Same thing with money, even small money miracles. You found a $20 bill on the parking lot at the grocery store. Be grateful for that, because the things that you're grateful for, you will generate more of. So, any other questions? Well, if there aren't any more questions, I think that will be a wrap for today. I really appreciate, and I am grateful myself for the fact that you have joined me today. I enjoy these conversations, and I appreciate people logging on and participating live. It gives me somebody to talk to, but also I really appreciate the questions, because it helps make this more of an interaction. And so I look forward to doing this with you in the future. In the meantime, this and other coffee calibrations are on my new YouTube channel, Kristina Swanson Training on YouTube. I am going to put the link to my channel down below. Feel free to come down and obviously watch the replays of this and other videos, but I also encourage you to like and subscribe to my channel, help me build an audience. Let me know that it's worthwhile for me to take the time and effort to do these. And I just appreciate you for being here and supporting me as I kick off this new phase of my coaching and trying to establish more of an online presence. Up until now, I've been doing most of my coaching in private, one-on-one and group sessions with people that I know or we're already acquainted with. Do a lot of live speaking, but this move on to the online arena is exciting and a little scary at the same time. So thank you for logging on. And I look forward to having another coffee conversation with you next week. Cheers.